Aloha, we are DIGI Elite, a team of IT professionals specializing in database management. The company we will be focusing on today is Heart and Soul, a massage therapy company solely owned and operated by Samantha Wong. Samantha Wong has 15 years of experience in massage therapy and has created a very successful business in doing so. She offers therapeutic massage services to promote relaxation, muscle therapy, and spiritual reconnection. Ethan is now going to walk us through the website that we've created for you. Take it away, Ethan.
Thank you, Ashley. For the internal website, the first thing the therapist will see is the login page, allowing therapists to log in with their email and password. Once logged in, it will take you to the customer check-in page by inputting customer first and last name to pull out customer information, customer appointments. Once customer is checked in, you want to go to the treatment tab. On this page, the customer will fill out a confidential intake form. Once filled out, the therapist will be able to see the intake form and customer SOAP note with the ability to update SOAP note of the session. On the CRM page, it allows therapists to update customer information, record survey results, and get marketing and survey reports. On the report page, therapists will be able to get sales report, treatment report, total session by month, and the last visit of customers. On the schedule page, therapists can add new appointments, edit existing appointments, and add new customers. On the employee page, it allows therapists to add new therapists and edit therapist information.
Now that we've seen the website that DIGI Elite has completed for you, let's take a look at the details of what we've done. Heart and Soul's current business operations include many manual processes as shown in the diagram here. Schedulicity is a third-party booking app used for tracking all clients' appointments. At each initial visit, the client will complete a client confidential intake form, which discloses personal information, medical concerns or issues, and the reason for the visit. This is later filed and used for future reference and recorded in Excel. After each treatment, SOAP notes are handwritten and manually filed. SOAP stands for Subject, Object, Assessment, and Plan, which is basically a consensus of how the therapist has approached and solved the client's needs. As we've discussed your goals for Heart and Soul, the main concerns with the current business operations is the fact that there are many manual processes, there is an inefficiency of data entry and retrieval, and with a vision for expansion, there is little to no room for additional employees and a higher clientele base. Our solution to this problem is to create a centralized database system for internal use. The new database system we've created will allow Heart and Soul to track and retrieve data in one area. In the diagram here, we can see the implementation of the new database system, as well as the new business processes that the system will allow us to have. This will simplify the current processes, essentially allowing Heart and Soul to focus on increasing sales.
So now we'll be talking why we went with our chosen methodology. We decided to go with RAD, which stands for Rapid Application Development, because of its history as a very high quality, highly successful, fast development method. It allows for rapid prototyping that is then presented to you as the client, and then getting constant user feedback in sort of this cycle that allows us to create iterations, beta versions, until we have something that we're happy with, like the website we've finished making. A part of the RAD system is, of course, identifying our requirements at step 1. These are things like our functional, non-functional requirements. For functional, we were thinking of getting the ability to schedule appointments, edit and enter customer information, and then sharing that information between employees, and then taking that information and abstracting reports from it. And of course, our non-functionals were things like being able to secure the information safely, so it couldn't be hacked, being able to access that information from anywhere or at any time, and being able to easily use the database and the website. Part of the information we wanted to bring in were some old forms that were manually composed, namely our client confidential intake form and our SOAP notes. These were previously handwritten, and we wanted to make a digital version for each that was database friendly and database storable. As you can see on our left, we've got confidential client intake forms, the paper version, slow, hard to store, and then our digital copy, which is filed with the client's account or with the customer's account and stored as part of their data base section. And the same goes for the SOAP notes, where now we have a much simpler, much easier to store digital version. In addition, we were looking at the old queries. These are things that the client was having to manually calculate. These were previously calculated through Excel after the information was recorded in Excel, which made this a much lengthier process. These are things like the total sales in a month, number of customers in a month or daily, the average times of sessions, things like that. We wanted to create a database that would allow us to speed up those queries, make it a lot faster, and keep things moving. In addition, we wanted to create some reports based on the information we had to just keep things moving. Some canned queries, some canned reports, daily sales, daily sessions, the last visit of customers, average surveys or average sales in a month, things like that, that would be essential for a business owner and for our client to know. Okay, onto reports. This, of course, is the best part about the database. It makes sorting data that you have so much easier. This way, you'll be able to look up any sort of query you have in a fast, need-to-know manner. These are things like your sales reports, your treatment reports, all that information that had to be calculated by hand is now done just automatically by the database.
Thank you, Taylor. Next, I'll discuss the second phase called conceptual design, which entails capturing the data in a complete and accurate way into a data model known as the entity relationship model. We had re-engineered the previous state of business processes and combined it with the future processes and all the requirements collected in the requirements analysis phase, which is now the current state of the database. This is where we defined all the entities, all the attributes, and all the relationships of the database. As you can see, we have two main entities, customer and therapist, with the three main relationships in between and all corresponding attributes. Next, I'll take it over to Darren, who will explain the selection of the DBMS.
Upon completion of the requirements analysis and discussing the nature of your business, including its current size, time, and budget constraints, we ultimately chose MySQL to manage a database system that would meet all your current and future business needs. MySQL allowed us to translate the data requirements that were illustrated in our diagrams into a customized storage system that provides the information generated in reports, the CRM functionalities, and employee information. You emphasize the importance of a low-cost system. MySQL is an open-source software, which means it is essentially free to use and maintain. In addition, there is a huge amount of free support and resources that can be found online, which allowed us to easily solve any challenge we encountered while designing the system.
Thank you, Darren. So now as we translate into the logical design, this is expressed with a data model implemented in a commercial DBMS. Our main objective of this phase was to take the conceptual design schema with specific rules to produce a set of tables with appropriate referential integrity. As it was a requirement to have a high-performing data retrieval, we were able to reduce redundant tasks to help you save time and minimize insertion, deletion, and update anomalies. While designing our final schema, we considered the following. First off, we understood that your business included organizing real-life situations where appointments are scheduled, forms are filled out, therapists are assigned to clients, SOAP notes are written, customers are checked in, and more. To best represent this, we grouped attributes into relations and then broke the problems down further and further. And this is a simplistic way of describing the top-down design methodology. So instead of using the bottom-up design, we chose this methodology because if we were to do the bottom-up design, it would have forced us to start from the individual attributes and work our way up, and this wouldn't have made sense for heart and soul. So we broke down bigger tables into smaller tables, transformed the ER model to relational schemas, and eliminated the unnecessary data. As a result, we've created a relational schema to ensure a high quality design. We actually use a normalization process. So we normalize data up to the third normal form, and you can think of this as a way of filtering the process to create this better quality design from the first normal form to the second normal form and then to the third normal form. And that way, we essentially could better format the database tables. This final schema, which has relations between the therapist, customer, treated by, surveys, and schedules, neither has partial or transitive dependencies on the primary keys, which again eliminates update anomalies that you should be avoiding for heart and soul.
Thank you, Haley. Next, the physical design is really the last phase before implementation, and the main purpose is optimizing data retrieval performance for the fastest turnaround time while maintaining the integrity and security of the data. DIGI Elite wanted you to be able to retrieve data secured and fast while on the go. Again, time is money. So what did we do? The following are tasks that we used to achieve this. The first, storage level decisions based upon a file organization called index sequential file with using B trees to optimize data insertion. 2, based upon application characteristics, we chose the primary key index to access data from storage. 3, we tuned the queries, avoiding joins and correlated to reduce the number of operations and the required internal memory storage. And lastly, as Haley mentioned, we denormalized 2 relations to 1 relation to speed up processing performance, and we created views within the web interface for the main purpose of security to keep confidential information secured. I now take it over to Ethan, who will demonstrate this for you in the next phase, implementation.
Thank you, Brittany. On the login page, the email and password is validated with the data from the therapist table in the database. On the check-in page, display customer appointments by getting info from database with customer name. On the CRM page, it uses customer's name to put up information of customer to update customer information and record customer survey into the database. And the marketing report is from the customer table in the database, and the survey report is from the provided survey for table on the database. On the report page, the query result comes from the schedule, customer, and therapist table on the database. On the treatment page, the customer confidential intake form will store form information in the database, then display the information with the SOAP note from the treated by table on the database using customer name and appointment date to update SOAP note into the database. On the schedule page, adding schedule will add customer name, therapist name, type of massage, and date and time into the database. And it will also link the appointment to treated by and provide survey for table. Edit appointment will first use customer name and schedule date to search for customer appointment in order to change it. For new customers is simply gather new customer info and store it into the database.
We measured our success using 3 performance evaluation methods. First, we made sure the system met all your business needs using our requirements analysis. This includes the web application and the supporting infrastructure of the database. Next, we checked the code and how it acts during complex tasks to make sure that there were no hidden or missed bugs during the development that would affect the performance of the system. Lastly, we performed usability testing with potential users that allowed us to confirm the ease at which users can perform and complete their tasks. This was accomplished with great user interface design.
So, in conclusion, when we set out, we had a few key goals that we had in mind that we have successfully achieved. These were things like the ability to store customer details, handling manual processes, and allowing for a scalability for more and more employees for our client. This way, the database is something that is worthwhile, it's a valuable resource for your business, and something that you can use often. There were things that we felt that we can improve upon, and as our business relationship with Heart and Soul continues, we feel like we can do that. We want to expand into a customer-facing website so that your customers can use it and get information. And also they can do things like scheduling their own appointments. So that's why we also wanted to expand into a scheduling appointment app to replace Schedulicity. And then finally, of course, we want to constantly improve the user interface so that both you and your customers can constantly use the website in a very effective, efficient manner. Hopefully, if you've enjoyed what we've done so far and what we plan to do in the future, you'll continue to work with us. Thank you.